Today is a rather special day. It's been 3 weeks since I dropped my 280 off the sprayer. There's been a few things over the weeks that George has found as he's worked on the car. He sent me pictures. I've had a look, had to make some decisions, which is always difficult because every time something is going to involve more work, it's going to cost more money, understandably. And it's a question of getting that balance right. Do you spend the money? Do you want it to look right? And of course you do. So anyway, I'm going in for the first time since I dropped it off to see what she looks like. The windscreen's out. I've got the rubber here, so I'm dropping that off for when they put the screen back in. I'm very nervous, as I've already said about a million times. George knows that. He must be completely and utterly pulling his hair out with customers like me. But I know he wants to do a good job and he won't settle for anything less. So let's see how far he's gone. Well, I've just left George. He's really up against it at the moment with other jobs as well, so he's fitting in the 280 around all the other projects. The biggest problem he's having at the moment is trying to get a colour match on the paint. So he's done various references and he's taken the code and given it to certain paint manufacturers, but it's still not right. So he's got to try one more company. He's not happy with the finish and the colour match. He knows the importance of getting the colour, which was unique to the Brooklands, as everyone knows. He's got to go to Watford, take the petrol flap with him, one of the original panels, quite removable, and he's going to see about getting that matched up. Thinking about all the car shows I've ever directed, like Top Gear, Wheeler Dealers, Car SOS, we've always had what we called a bit of jeopardy in them. In other words, getting the viewers to come back for more, you know, the cliffhanger. How's that worked out? The story goes that the first 500 of the 1,038 280s built had a slightly different colour or hue to them compared to the remaining 538, the second half. A lot of these cars, you could see the primer coming through. I didn't mind that. I mean, it was only on the inside door shuts and places like that. There's been various discussions about the best way to paint the car to get that hue right. And one of them is, you know, to put a dark primer on it, which I don't think is right, because when these cars left the factory, they had a grey primer. Or a dark grey primer, so I'm not sure that's the right thing to do. And in any case, George has shown me he's done various tests with little black squares and various paint options, and it don't really make much difference. It's been 5 weeks. I've been given the news. It's ready. I can't wait to see the car. Well, here she is, completely sprayed. George has ended up doing a lot more work than he said initially he needed to do, but that was to match that colour in, because it was difficult to match. But I'm sure he'll agree that looks absolutely stunning. Okay, so you've ended up doing a lot more work than you gave me the original quote.
A lot more work than the original quote, but we've tried to keep to a budget, which is really important for me, because I never want, you know, I hear a lot of stories of people taking it somewhere, they get quoted, you know, X amount, and it spirals out of control. And that's a big part of what I do is really communicating with the customer throughout the process and making sure that we stay as on track as possible. So we had identified that the bonnet, the roof, and the boot lid had been painted quite poorly before. The quarter panel as well had some bubbling, which is often what was a sign of corrosion underneath from previous repairs. So they were bare metal, stripped back to bare metal, paint stripper, sanded off, and yeah, epoxy primed, hydro primed. Biggest challenge on this one was finding the colour, so I believe there were multiple variations on this colour when it came out the factory in its limited run.
I mean, you've got the bonnet off, the roof out. I mean, how easy was that?
Yeah, no, so that's all fairly straightforward. Bonnet was off, and obviously the trim's taken off, sunroof out, and the mechanisms. It's a bit involved with the sunroof mechanism, but overall it was, once if you keep organised, it was absolutely. I really enjoy doing it, and I also love working almost with the customer on it. I appreciate not everyone's got the facilities and the equipment to do this kind of work, but like yourself, you did bits and pieces before it came. You're going to do a few bits and pieces after, and it's nice. I'm happy to, whether you want me to do the whole project or help work with you on doing bits and pieces. Primarily that the paintwork's been done here.
The windscreen's out. That's a brand new windscreen.
Brand new windscreen, absolutely new rubber.
What was the biggest challenge for you on this car? I guess colour is unique to this car.
Colour is unique, and it appears there were variations throughout the build of this vehicle. So finding a good colour match was a challenge. Lots were too metallic, too green, too blue, and eventually we came to a colour.
Here I am, Brookie's back, completely painted. I bought it in July last year, almost exactly to the day I bought it and received it, and it was delivered, and going to provide me with many years of happy motoring, and of course attending lots of car shows where I'm going to meet you wonderful people. So watch out for us, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Well, George, who painted the car, has got a stand here today at the Chiltern Open Air Museum here in Buckinghamshire, and he's got a few of his cars on show, and he invited me down with the 280. So let's just see if anyone really appreciates what a fantastic car it now looks. Probably noticed something. The car is missing its stripes, and there's a good reason for that, because George, who sprayed the car, has said that basically leave the paint for a few weeks before we put the stripes on, mainly because we've got to be careful that the adhesive doesn't damage the new paintwork, so it needs to harden it. I feel like the car has got its name back now by adding this on, but it's quite stressful. Why? I'm trying to line it up, and I'm lining it up with strips of tape, which were done by George at the workshop from the ones that were on there, and I'm just double checking to make sure they match other Capri 280s, make sure mine wasn't in the wrong place. I mean, purely because it had Brooklyn, the previous owner had put Brooklyns on it. So as I slowly pull back, just checking to make sure that none of the letters are, well, that they're all staying down basically. And they look okay so far on that brand new Brooklyns green paint, and slowly pulling off, whoops, a little bit of a bubble on the A, and let's just put a little bit more around the C, and bottom of the C there, a little bit of a bubble, and there we have it. The car has its Capri 280 logo back on. The car is how I want it to look. I want to be able to use it. I want to be able to enjoy it. My original car, my other FRED one that I had, 6,000 miles. Show winner, but I'll be honest, I was terrified to drive it. Not that I'm not terrified to drive this one, because having spent all this time and money on it, stone chips, stuff flying off the road, I'm nervous about that. Now it's got this immaculate paint job, but equally, I guess with our classic cars, we have got to use them. I mean, this one was off the road for 10 years. So over the last year, I mean, it had a lot of work done on it before I bought it, but over the last year, I've done some jobs on it that I thought I would never do again in my lifetime. But I have to say, just sitting back now and taking a wander around this car, I mean, just look at the paintwork. We've put the stripes on today, and it just makes a transformation of the car. I mean, we've picked the hottest day of the year. It's August, and we're in the middle of a heat wave, and it's probably 37, 38 degrees today, so one of the hottest days we've ever had. Fortunately, we did this in George, who painted it, in his workshop. Well, we had the good light in there for a start. It's just spray booth. I mean, I was worried about it, putting that line on, because I was imagining it going up and down like a roller coaster. But we did it. George put a line on it right across it. I'm hopefully going to enjoy it now for the time left this summer, and just get it out there and hopefully create some happy memories with the car. It will come off the road, go down into Surrey into its storage, and out again, I would imagine, next spring, ready for me to just do some trips. I still have the dream of doing that, that scene from The Italian Job, but having that dream of perhaps taking it into Europe, some of the roads around there, recreating the opening sequence from that film, The Italian Job, looking out over that bonnet and just watching the world go by. And I have to say, can I just say, I'm not sure if other Capri 280 owners have experienced this, but this car is like being out with a celebrity. Everywhere I go, literally, I know people say this about the car, always get stopped, people like it. This car gets stopped, or I get stopped, and I get asked questions about the car. People want to see it. People want pictures taken with it. This is a celebrity in itself, if I'm totally honest with you. I've worked with some really big celebrity names over the years, and I have to say, if they had the admiration that this car has when it goes down a street, I think they'd be very happy about this. I am looking forward to taking this car on journeys, and of course putting her in shows, so hopefully I might see you at a show in the future.